Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another chapter of Manchester City in the Champions League, a Shakespearean tragedy. For the first time in his managerial career, Pep Guardiola has been kicked out of the Champions League before the round of 16. You know it's bad when the man who overthinks in semi-finals didn't even get a chance to overthink this time. And who was the executioner? Kylian Mbappé, who casually scored a hat-trick like he was playing FIFA on beginner mode. Meanwhile, Manchester City defended like they had just discovered what football was 5 minutes before kickoff. So how did Real Madrid completely body Pep and his squad? Let's break it down. 1. The Mbappé shows, a one-man wrecking crew. If you ever needed proof that Kylian Mbappé was built for the Champions League, look no further. 3 goals, 3 ways of embarrassing Manchester City, and 1 absolutely shattered Guardiola. His first goal, a cheeky lob over Ederson in the 4th minute. City's defenders were still adjusting their shin pads while the ball was flying into the net. His second, a classic cut inside and curl its finish that made City's backline look like they were trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded. And his third, a curling masterpiece so smooth it could be bottled and sold as premium olive oil. At this point, even Guardiola had to sit down and just accept fate. Mbappé torched City's defense so bad that their GPS systems might still be recalibrating. The way he moved through City's backline, it was like watching a hot knife slice through butter, except the butter was already melted. Kylian Mbappé was so dominant even the ball started looking at him like bro let me breathe. City's defense had the same energy as a Windows update stuck at 99%, completely frozen when it mattered most. At this point, Ederson might as well have filed a workplace harassment complaint against Mbappé for how much he was tormented. The Madrid forward wasn't just scoring goals, he was handing out life lessons. Stay ready, because I'm about to embarrass you at any moment. Mbappé's hat-trick was so effortless I wouldn't be surprised if he was checking his phone mid-run replying to text before tapping the ball past Ederson. 2. Pep's master plan, the we'll-figure-it-out strategy. Now let's talk about Guardiola's game plan because honestly, even he didn't seem to know what it was. Erling Haaland, City's goal-scoring machine, was benched because of a knee injury, meaning their attack had all the firepower of a birthday candle in a hurricane. Meanwhile, Pep's substitutions, well, let's just say they came after the match was already over. At one point it looked like he was deliberately trying to see how bad it could get before making a change. And then there's the defense. Oh boy. The defense. Manchester City's backline had all the structural integrity of a sandcastle at high tide. Real Madrid's attack was so dominant that at one point Ederson probably considered applying for hazard pay. Pep's tactical changes were like a software update that promises improvements but only ends up making things worse. If Guardiola were a pilot, he'd only tell passengers to fasten their seatbelts after the plane had already crash-landed. City's strategy was so confusing that even the players looked like they were waiting for Pep to pull out a whiteboard mid-game to explain it. Manchester City's approach to defending was like using an umbrella in a hurricane, completely pointless and embarrassing to watch. If Pep's game plan was a movie, it would be Mission Impossible, except nobody accepted the mission and the entire team just stood around looking confused. 3. Manchester City's consolation goal, a participation trophy moment. Somewhere in the 90-plus second minute, Nico Gonzalez managed to sneak in a goal for City, but let's be honest, it was the equivalent of showing up to a party after the music's already stopped and people are putting on their coats. Real Madrid fans literally started chanting Ole before City scored. That's like laughing at the punchline of a joke before the comedian even tells it. Nico Gonzalez's goal was like getting a thanks for participating sticker after flunking an exam. The Madrid defense basically saw City score and said, "Ah yes, charity work." By the time City scored, Madrid fans were already Googling who they'd face in the next round. Even the Real Madrid mascot had packed up and left the stadium before City's goal went in. Nico's goal was so irrelevant that even the match commentators sounded like they had already packed up their microphones. Manchester City scoring in stoppage time was like throwing a cup of water on a house that had already burned to the ground. By the time City scored, even their own fans were like, please, just end it. We've suffered enough. 4. The fan reactions. Laughter, tears, and existential dread. Real Madrid fans left the Bernabeu feeling invincible. Mbappé's performance turned him into an instant legend, and some supporters are probably already drafting his statue outside the stadium. Madridistas took to social media to declare the usual "this club was built for the Champions League. Mbappé is him, and of course we run this competition like it's our backyard." Meanwhile, Manchester City fans entered full existential crisis mode. Pep out, tactical overhaul. A seance to summon some Champions League luck. The coping strategies were all over the place. City fans went through all 5 stages of grief in record time. Denial. It's not that bad. Anger. Pep has lost it. Bargaining. Maybe we should have parked the bus. Appalled. Depression. I hate this club. And acceptance. At least we still have the Premier League. Maybe as City supporters watching this game were like passengers on the Titanic, but instead of an iceberg, it was just Kylian Mbappé running at them full speed. Some fans are now considering therapy. Others are considering switching to watching darts for a less stressful sporting experience. The only people smiling in Manchester, United fans, because even their season doesn't feel as bad after this. Manchester City's Champions League hopes disappeared faster than a free meal at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Pep's Champions League exit memes are already trending faster than City's actual trophy parade would have. City fans have officially unlocked a new fear, not even making it past the playoff round. Their Champions League PTSD just got a whole new chapter. At this rate, City fans might start bringing rosaries, good luck charms, and possibly a witch doctor to their next European match. 5. The road ahead. Madrid moves on. City moves into reflection mode. And so, Real Madrid marches into the next round looking as dominant as ever. Who's next? Bayer Leverkusen? Atletico Madrid? It doesn't matter, because Madrid in the Champions League is basically an unstoppable force of nature. At this point, if the Champions League had a VIP section, Real Madrid would own it. They don't just compete in this tournament, they own it. While other teams dream of European glory, Madrid just casually collects trophies like they're filling a sticker album. The scariest part, they're not even at full power yet. If Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. fully hit their stride, they could walk through the rest of the competition like a boss battle in easy mode. Meanwhile, on the other side of the footballing universe, Manchester City. Oh, they have questions to answer. City's existential crisis. Where do they go from here? For the first time in his managerial career, Pep Guardiola has failed to reach the round of 16. And now, the entire football world is asking, what happens next? Is it time for Pep to rethink his control-everything style of football? Should City finally accept that sometimes possession stats don't win trophies? Or better yet, should they just stop trying to outplay Real Madrid at their own game? City's Premier League dominance isn't even guaranteed anymore. Liverpool and Arsenal are breathing down their necks, and if they don't get their act together, this could turn into a trophyless season, something Pep hasn't experienced since his Bayern Munich days. Also, we need to talk about Erling Haaland. The big Norwegian's absence was a huge factor in this loss, but even when he is fit, his impact in big Champions League games has been questionable. Do City need to tweak their attack to fit him better? Or was this just a freak injury at the worst possible time? Pep Guardiola. The thinker. The overthinker. The philosopher of football. And then there's Pep himself. The man. The myth. The tactical enigma. Guardiola is now entering a dangerous phase, one where self-doubt starts creeping in. Is his philosophy failing on the biggest stage? Does he need to adjust? Or will he go even deeper into the madness and come back next season with an even more complicated system that involves fullbacks playing as goalkeepers? City's Champions League exit isn't just about this game, it's about the pattern. Every year it's the same story: City dominate. They look like the best team in Europe, and then Real Madrid walks in and takes their lunch money. Pep needs answers. The fans need answers. And if City doesn't find them soon, this could be the start of a downward spiral they haven't experienced in years. Final thoughts. Madrid's march continues. City's soul-searching begins. Real Madrid? They're off to chase another title. Business as usual. Madridistas are already planning their flights for the final in Wembley. City, on the other hand, are about to enter deep reflection mode. Pep's drawing up flowcharts, the board is checking the transfer market, and Haaland is probably sitting in his house wondering why he signed up for this stress. One thing's for sure, if you ever feel like you're having a bad day, just remember Manchester City had 70% possession and still got schooled by Real Madrid. See you in the next episode of Why the Champions League is Not Meant for Pep Guardiola. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more football banter, and drop a comment. Will City ever break the Champions League curse, or are we just watching a rerun every year? Until next time.